I'm Sean.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is Suburban Outdoorsman.
And today we are coming with a survival hack on using a plastic water bottle that is empty once you've drank all the water to create a water filter.
Right.
Now what we're going to look at is how to use some items you can find around yourself in the woods, your campsite, in the survival situation, and make a filter to filter out particles and sediments out of, let's say, a lake or a stream before you boil the water to make it drinkable. So
yeah, and this should be some things that you can find in most situations. If you're in the middle of the desert, your situation's a little bit different.
Yeah,
but some of the items that we'll be using, you can find in most
survival situations. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to put it together, and then we'll start testing it. So we got our water bottle, cut the bottom off of the water bottle, and we poked a couple holes in the lid. Figured you would understand how to do that without needing that demonstrated. So if you don't mind holding that. What I've got in this bag here is some charcoal that we collected from one of our campfires. So we want this to be the first part, well, it'll be the final part of the filtration process, but it's the first part we're putting in the water bottle.
Right.
So right now we've got some large chunks of charcoal. We want to break some of this up a little bit. So I'm going to use the multi-tool that I've got, and we're going to just kind of beat on it a little bit to break it up some, get some finer charcoal in there. All right, so
that'll be our bottom layer of filtration. And we're going to lose it. There we go.
So we want to get probably about a quarter of our items to be this charcoal, give or take. Not an exact science here. This is a survival situation.
This is really fighting me. It's all over me.
Better than nothing. So you can see up there we got about up to there with the charcoal. So that'll be the final layer of filtration. Next, we used part of the another water bottle. We'll demonstrate what that's going to be for in a minute. The top of that one for some sand. Go ahead and pour that in there.
And all this is doing is particle filtration. We're not trying to get anything viral out of it at this point. Or now you're just trying to get the big chunks out of it.
Yeah, filter out and the little chunks too.
And the little chunks.
Which is why we're using the sand and the
fish guts. And
yeah. So we're going to throw some grass in here. Will be the third step. So 4 main things that we're going to be utilizing in this filtration process. First is the charcoal. Second is the sand or dirt if you don't have sand. Clay is not something you want to use. That's going to clog up the water.
Yeah, we've learned that tends to compact. So when you put the clay in, the water gets to it, it just tends to harden up, and it doesn't really let the water flow through it quite like sand will.
Yep. So we're going to put a bit of grass in there. And then last is going to be some rocks. So we've got some small rocks, about that size there, that are going to go in. Here, if you don't mind holding that.
And some smaller yet. And
then some ones that are, so from the creek, we were able to get, you can see we got some of these medium-sized rocks here. Some even smaller ones that you want to filter in there. And again, the reason for these is to help with filtration out the chunks, letting the water pass through around the rocks and filtering out all the big stuff. All right, that'll work for now.
And it looks like a nice Hawaiian drink.
Yeah, not too bad.
Just needs a straw
and some rum.
Some rum and a little umbrella.
All right, now, I'm gonna sit down. Getting too old for this. Yeah. So, what we're gonna utilize this water bottle for is gonna be 2 parts. First part being, we're going to sit this inside of here so that we can let it sit and filter into there, as such. Now, the other reason for cutting the top off of the second water bottle, if you've got one, besides letting it filter in there, is you want a large container like this that you can use, just in case you don't have one of these. I've got a collapsible 5-gallon water bottle, or water container that I keep in my outdoor bag. You could utilize this. It's going to be a slow process, but you can filter excess water into there to take back to your campsite, and then move that to another container for boiling later. If you don't have that option, this is where the second water bottle comes in. So you could fill this up. That's not going to last you all day, but you got a drink of water in here, at least get you through a little bit. And if you don't have another container to boil, you can actually boil the water in this plastic container.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
I know you don't. You're still skeptical of that, and we're not going to demonstrate that in this video. We will do a separate video demonstrating how you can utilize this.
That witchcraft where you put plastic in a fire
and you boil water in it. So we will demonstrate that. But what we're going to do now is, Sean's got a container here that's got water from the lake in it. You can see
it looks pretty good there. However, when you snow globe it,
yeah,
it's pretty disgusting.
And that's what it looked like when he first pulled it out of the lake.
and it's a shallow lake, and it's full of muck. So this is just off the first few inches of it. So that is what's floating around at the cleanest part of the lake.
And that's what you don't want to be drinking,
Right.
besides any bacteria and stuff. But you don't want to boil that either, because yeah, you could boil the water and get rid of the bacteria and viral issues, but you don't want to be drinking.
You don't want to be cooking all the algae.
Yeah. So we're going to pour the water in there. Now, this is going to take a few minutes to start filtering through everything and coming out clean.
Filtered.
Filtered, yes, which will look clean. Now, probably can't see it as well from this distance on the camera, but when he originally pulled the water and it filtered up to here, and it's already started reducing.
So it's slowly moving itself through the layers. We've got a few drops coming out the bottom.
Pour a little bit more in there, and then we'll take this closer to
Make it nasty.
So as you can see, come a little bit closer to the camera. Oh, I wasted a drop of water. It's filtering through that lid.
So this is what we had. Quite dirty, and you can't see it a lot,
but it's coming out. It's coming out fairly clean looking.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let this sit here for a little bit and filter through the water.
Let it do its job.
Filter the water through our contraption here, and then we'll come back and looks like what it looks like once we've actually gotten a decent amount filtered in there. So we'll be back here in just a few minutes. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and show some results and be 100% honest. This is not
a fast process.
And neither of us are very patient people, nor in an actual survival situation where we have to wait for this whole thing to go through. So in about, what did you say, about 10 minutes? 12 minutes?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
That's how much water we've got now. Now,
it does look considerably cleaner.
It is, yeah. There's no green gunk and bits floating in there. I will mention there are tiny specks of charcoal, little tiny black flakes in there. The little bit of charcoal that came through the lid.
But you could probably filter that out with some cloth even.
Yeah, you could probably do that. And that's another option if you have some. One of the extra steps you can do for this is like maybe cut a sleeve off, put it over the bottle and screw the lid on.
Yeah.
I've been in 2 different survival situations where I had to do that, as you can tell. So I didn't have another sleeve to do that with today. But
sleeveless joke.
Yeah. That'll is another option you can add onto there. But I would be perfectly fine with taking this, boiling it, and drinking it.
Let me smell it. Let me see if it smells like lake water. Because that's where it came from. It smells like nothing.
Do you want it to smell like? Do you want to taste it?
I do.
Actually, no, we haven't boiled it yet.
Oh yeah.
There's still bacteria in your lake. Who knows how many dead fish are floating over there?
Probably all the dead ones.
Most of them. So, another option with this, a recommendation would be to set this up ahead of time. Don't just sit here waiting for this to filter through while you're waiting to get a drink. Set this up, take care of some other activities, get your fire going.
Yeah, good preparation and thinking ahead is an important part of survival anyway.
Exactly.
So if you know you're going to be short on water and you have the ability to start some filtration process, by all means do it. And with this system, it is scalable. So this is a small system, but you can make it considerably bigger if you needed to supply more water.
Yeah, as you mentioned when we were off camera, assuming you had another container to filter the water into, we could even take the 5-gallon jug that I showed that I keep in my bag and turn that into a giant filter.
Yeah, you'd have to cut the top of it, but
no, you just use open the lid and pour water through there. You just poke a couple holes in the bottom, which then means it's not going to be a good storage container anymore. But
you're trying to stay alive.
Yeah. Actually, you didn't even cut holes on the bottom, just doing one of the corners. Maybe like the top corner.
This is important for the video.
Yeah. So, hey, thinking that through. Maybe we'll try it one day. But as Sean mentioned, with thinking ahead, you know you're going to be in a shortage of water. Don't wait until your water bottle's empty to start this process and put your filter together. Dump that water into your other storage container or somewhere else so you can go ahead and set the filter up and get started. This is, I mean, I'm guessing based on the time frame, 15 minutes for an ounce of water.
Yeah, so you're going to want to set this up overnight.
Yeah, you're going to want to get this done ahead of time. And if you've got multiple water bottles, do it. Or if you've got larger containers, whatever it is, get that process started. But you had something else you were going to show too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That you keep in your bag?
As far as keeping survival gear, we have our family's go bags, and everybody's got, I know everybody in our family, we've got my wife and I and 3 kids, and everybody has little 8-ounce pouches of water.
Yeah.
We have 6 of those each. It's a little bit just to get you going, get you started. But beyond that, I've got this little water purification kit. It's just basically a bladder with a screw cap on it, and you've got some water purification tablets. So you fill it up with water, pretty much shake it up and let it sit, and then you can drink the water from there.
Now, I mentioned with that though, that is designed to kill the bacteria and make the water safe to drink.
Not filter.
It's not going to do anything about all the sediment in that
Right.
lake. So in that situation, this would be where you may use these two
Right.
Together. Let's say you don't have a container to boil the water, and you don't trust me about using the plastic, or you don't have an extra plastic bottle. You can create this filtration system, filter it into the bladder,
Right.
then use the tablets to clean it and make it drinkable. So
Absolutely.
well, hopefully you hope you enjoyed this, found some useful information. If you did, please like the video and subscribe on the channel, and leave a comment as well. We'd love to get some feedback on what your thoughts on this were, or if you've got any ideas we could do to improve this, or add something else that we didn't think of.
And be sure to check out our podcast that we preceded this with, and one that will follow it.
Yep.
We'll be talking about the water purification as well.
And links for all that will be in the comments below. So appreciate the time, and look forward to seeing you next time.
See you next time. See you next time.
I'm leaving that in.